The Neogene Period, the second of three divisions of the Cenozoic Era, began with the ending of the Paleogene Period about 23 million years ago and ended about 2.58 million years ago when the Earth passed into today's Quaternary Period. The Neogene Period, which was divided into the Miocene and the Pliocene epochs, started with the replacement of vast areas of forest by grassland and savannas. New food resources and niches fostered further evolution of mammals and birds. Whales diversified in the seas, and sharks reached their largest size during the Miocene. Complex patterns of mammalian evolution resulted from changing climates and continental separation. From the giant birds of terror on land to the whales and sharks that dominated the seas, here is a deep dive into the charismatic megafauna of the Neogene Period. Deinotherium is a genus of colossal, long-extinct proboscideans that first appeared during the Middle Miocene epoch and persisted until the early Pleistocene. While they might bear a superficial resemblance to modern elephants, Deinotherium possessed distinct characteristics, including more flexible necks, limbs adapted to a more cursorial lifestyle, and distinctive downward and backward curving tusks. Notably, these tusks emerged from the mandible, in contrast to elephants whose tusks originate from the maxilla. Deinotherium giganteum specimens were approximately 3.63 to 4 meters, 11.9 to 13.1 feet tall at the shoulder. They weighed 8.8 to 12 tons. Imagine that only a Deinotherium tusk could reach a length of 1.4 meters, 4.6 feet, while the skull measured approximately 1.2 to 1.3 meters, 3.9 to 4.3 feet. The origins of the Deinotherium can be traced back to Africa during the Oligocene period, where the territory was home to Chilgatherium, the most primitive member of the Deinotheridae family. You are probably wondering what the use of Deinotherium tusks was, right? The truth is, scientists are not sure yet. If you are a wildlife enthusiast, you have probably already guessed that the tusks may have functioned as a sexual display or may have marked a certain sexual dimorphism. The most plausible theory is that the tusks served as aids during feeding. Wear marks on fossilized tusks show that the Deinotherium may have relied on its tusks to remove the branches that prevented it from eating. Then the trunk was used to transport the leaves to the mouth. Very little is known about the reproduction of the Deinotherium. Considering what is known about mammals including elephants, the Deinotherium may have been sexually dimorphic. Females may have had a different pelvic configuration that allowed easy birth, while males had distinctive ischia and pubes. Male elephants experience something called must, during which they become quite aggressive. In turn, females look for males in must to protect them during the estrus cycle. Deinotherium was a widespread genus ranging from East Africa to southern Europe and to the east in the Indian subcontinent. They were primarily browsing animals, with a diet mainly consisting of leaves, and they most likely went extinct as forested areas went gradually replaced by open grassland during the latter half of the Neogene period. Smilodons were ancient big cats that are popularly known as the saber-toothed cat. This is a genus under which three extinct species have been recognized: the Smilodons populator, the Smilodons fatalis, and the Smilodons gracilis. The first evidence of their existence was found from fossils unearthed in the second quarter of the 19th century. The initial fossil that was unearthed belonged to the Smilodon gracilis that evolved around 2.5 million years ago during the Pleistocene epoch. The second Smilodon fatalis developed approximately 1.6 million years ago, while the evolution of the final one, Smilodon populator, was about 1 million years ago. Smilodons had a very massive size, with the Smilodon populator being the heaviest of all the three species, weighing more than 800 pounds. Smilodon fatalis was almost the same size as a modern-day lion, but slightly heavier. They were approximately 430 to 600 pounds. Smilodon gracilis was the smallest of the three, thought to be about the size of a jaguar, weighing around 360 pounds. The most distinctive features of Smilodons are their pair of large upper canine teeth that was around 28 cm long in Smilodon populator, giving them the colloquial name saber-toothed cats. They are thought to have been suddenly attacking and surprising their prey by sneaking up on them and kill them quickly. The size of all the teeth of the Smilodon and the robustness of the skeleton suggest that their prey included large mammals like bisons, horses, camels, giant ground sloth, and probably young mammoths and mastodons. However, the most mysterious part that intrigued the scientists is how these cats would use their oversized teeth. While some paleontologists believe that they utilized them like a knife, sinking the teeth into the flesh of the prey, others think they would use the teeth to slice meat off from the carcasses of animals already dead. Megatherium americanum, which means great beast from America, is the scientific name for an extinct species of giant ground sloth. Present-day sloths are relatively small mammals. They are less than a meter in length, average around 5 kilograms in weight, and spend most of their time suspended from branches in trees. Megatherium americanum was up to 10 times the size of living sloth, reaching weights of up to 4 tons, similar to a present-day bull elephant. On its hind legs, Megatherium americanum would have stood a full 3.5 meters, 12 feet tall. The oldest fossils date back to about 3.58 million years ago, but the Megatherium did not become extinct until 8,000 to 12,000 years ago. Despite its magnificent claws, Megatherium americanum was a vegetarian. This has been confirmed through chemical analysis of its teeth, which record what it ate during life. Their hind foot structure and posture of the ground sloth also helped it with mealtime. They likely relied on their robust hind feet in combination with a stout tail to support their massive bodies when rearing on their hindquarters to reach high into trees for forage. By the end of the Great Ice Age, around 11,700 years ago, many believed that the giant ground sloth had become extinct. Some argued that they were around for many more thousands of years, though surviving on islands in the Caribbean. One of the most distinctive and comical-looking megafauna mammals of prehistoric times, Glyptodon was essentially a dinosaur-sized armadillo with a huge, round armored carapace, stubby turtle-like legs, and a blunt head on a short neck. These creatures were protected by a hard shell like the armadillo, comprising of more than 1,000 bony plates, each 2.5 centimeters in width, known as the scute or osteoderms. All the species included in this group had their unique patterns of scute and a type of shell. However, like the turtles, these animals were unable to withdraw their heads inside the shell. Scientists believe that the Glyptodons would engage in interspecies fights, especially male to male. The tail of Glyptodon was flexible enough as a weapon during such fightings. Paleontologists have concluded that their tails were able to generate enough force to break the hard carapace. However, the tail could also be of use as a strong defense against other predators. The South American Glyptodon survived well into early historical times, only going extinct about 10,000 years ago, shortly after the last ice age, along with most of its fellow megafauna mammals from around the world, such as Diprotodon, the giant wombat from Australia, and the giant beaver from North America. This huge, slow-moving armadillo was probably hunted to extinction by early humans. Homotherium is an extinct genus of Megapiranha, a scimitar-toothed cat that inhabited North America, South America, Eurasia, and Africa during the Pliocene and Pleistocene epochs from around 4 million to 12,000 years ago. In comparison to Smilodon, the canines of Homotherium were shorter, and it was probably adapted to running down rather than ambushing prey. The lineage of Homotherium is estimated based on mitochondrial DNA sequence to have diverged from that of Smilodon about 18 million years ago. Homotherium has been suggested to have originated from African species of the genus Amphicyon. It first appeared during the early Pliocene about 4 million years ago, with its oldest remains being from the Odessa catacombs in Ukraine and Kobe in Kenya, which are close in age, making the origin location of the genus uncertain. Homotherium became extinct in North America around 12,000 years ago as part of the Quaternary extinction event, along with most other large mammals in the Americas. Homotherium reached 1.1 meters, 3 feet 7 inches at the shoulder, and weighed an estimated 190 kilograms, 420 pounds, and was therefore about the size of a male lion. The incisors and lower canines of Homotherium formed a powerful puncturing and gripping device, and its large canine teeth were crenulated. The jaws of Homotherium may have been adapted to clamp and hold prey while inflicting damage with the canine teeth, due to comparable amounts of trabecular bone present in skulls of the genus to those of the modern lion. The visual cortex in the brain of Homotherium was large and complex, similar to the modern cheetah, implying that it relied heavily on vision during the hunt. Genomic analysis supports the hypothesis that Homotherium was a social and well adapted to life as a pursued predator. The study also revealed that this genus of Megalodon was most likely diurnal and would have mainly hunted in daylight. Its story began to take shape in late November 1974 in Ethiopia with the discovery of the skeleton of a small female nicknamed Lucy. More than 40 years later, Australopithecus afarensis is one of the best represented species in the hominin fossil record. Lucy measured just 1.05 meters tall and would have weighed around 28 kilograms. Yet an erupted wisdom tooth and the fact that certain bones were fused suggest that Lucy was a young adult. Australopithecus afarensis fossils have been unearthed in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania. The top of its skull, the cranial vault, was highly domed and its brain was comparable in size to a chimpanzee's. Its face projected outwards, less so in females than in males. Some Australopithecus afarensis skull specimens show evidence these species possessed powerful chewing muscles. The smallest adults weighed an estimated 25 kilograms, while the largest weighed about 64 kilograms. In some members of the species, the tooth rows diverged slightly towards the back, forming a dental arcade, the part of the mouth where a teeth seat, that is neither parallel-sided as in modern apes nor more rounded as in humans. Australopithecus afarensis was competent at walking upright on 2 legs, and skeletal features indicate it did so regularly. However, it may not have walked in exactly the same way as we do, or been able to walk long distances efficiently. Anatomical features associated with upright walking are present in the spine, pelvis, legs, and feet. These include the broad pelvis and the femur that is angled inwards towards the knees so that the center of gravity lies directly above the foot. It is likely that the species, particularly the smaller females, spent a significant amount of time moving around in trees. The larger males were probably less arboreal. Megapiranha is an extinct cerasalmid kerasin fish from the late Miocene Ituzaingó Formation of Argentina, described in 2009. The type species is Megapiranha paranensis, which is thought to have been about 71 centimeters, 28 inches in length, and 10 kilograms, 22 pounds in weight. The holotype consists only of premaxilla and a zigzag tooth row. The rest of its body is unknown. This dentition is reminiscent of both the double row seen in Pacus and the single row seen in the teeth of modern piranhas, suggesting that Megapiranha paranensis is a transitional form. Its bite force is estimated to be between 1,240 to 4,749 newtons. That's at least 4 times more force than the largest black piranha. Scientists have proposed that Megapiranha may have exhibited some similarities to modern piranhas in terms of feeding behavior, with groups of Megapiranha working together to take down larger prey. However, this behavior is speculative and not confirmed by direct evidence. Titanis is a genus of forest racquet terror bird, a group originating in South America, an extinct family of large predatory birds in the order Caryamiformes that inhabited the United States during the Pliocene and earliest Pleistocene. Like all forest racquets, Titanis had elongated hind limbs, a thin pelvis, proportionately small wings, and a large skull with a hooked beak. It was one of the largest forest racquets, rivaling Kelenken and forest racquets based on preserved material. A 2005 estimate placed Titanis at 2 to 2.5 meters, 6.6 to 8.2 feet in height, and 200 kilograms, 440 pounds in weight. But more accurate scaling after the discovery of new material downsized it to 1.4 to 1.87 meters tall and 200 kilograms, 440 pounds in weight. The skull is estimated to have been between 32 centimeters and 54 centimeters in length. Titanis is unique among forest racquets because it is the only one from North America crossing over from South America during the Great American Interchange. Forest racquets are thought to have been terrestrial predators or scavengers and have often been considered apex predators that dominated Cenozoic South America in the absence of placental mammalian predators. The bear dog, also called Amphicyon, shared features of bears, heavy-bodied with feet planted flat on the ground, and dogs, relatively long legs and long snout, but they are neither bears nor dogs. They are classified in the Caniformia or dog-like suborder. Modern animals in the Caniformia suborder include wolves, foxes, dogs, bears, sea lions, and weasels. This makes bear dogs something like cousins to their namesakes. Also, these bear dogs should not be confused with the modern dog breed. Similar to modern-day dogs and bears, bear dogs came in various sizes. They could weigh just few pounds or grow to over 1,000 pounds, 450 kilograms. It is thought that the early evolution of the bear dog were very small, around Chihuahua size. As they continued to evolve, they seem to have become progressively larger. Evolving into bigger animals has several advantages and disadvantages. While becoming bigger would have enabled them to take down bigger prey and be higher on the food chain, they also would have required more food and reproduced more slowly. Bear dogs first appeared in Eurasia during the Eocene and Oligocene epochs 55.8 million to 23 million years ago, time periods full of warm weather and thick vegetation. The bear dog's teeth were shaped to allow for an omnivorous diet, much like modern bears and dogs, though bear dogs may have also enjoyed leaves and berries. Bear dogs became extinct 5 million to 10 million years ago. It is important to understand that since the bear dog was so large, it needed to consume a large amount of food to maintain its survival and mass. Without the abundance of food, it would not be able to sustain itself. It was also evident that competition was arising. One of them is the evolution of saber-toothed cats, a species that destroyed the bear dog's chance of becoming and remaining an apex predator. Purussaurus is one of the largest crocodilians to have ever lived. It is a member of the giant caiman family, which dominated Central South America during the Miocene epoch about 8 million years ago. Like other crocodilian species, it could attack large prey and had a massive bite force equivalent to about 7 tons. Purussaurus brasiliensis was the first recognized species of this reptilian. The head of this giant caiman was about 5 feet long, almost as long as the entire body of most caiman species existing today. The robust head had big, sharp teeth which helped it grip and hold onto its prey. The teeth vary slightly between the species but are generally about 2 inches long and slightly curved backward. The nature of the fossil skull suggests that these animals' bite force was massive enough to perforate the prey's bones and shatter their internal organs. Some researchers believe it would have been 41 feet and weighed 8.4 tons. Others estimate it to be 33.8 feet long with a 5.69 ton body mass. The commonly agreed conclusion is that it was a massive animal. Like today's crocodilian predators, Purussaurus were also thought to hunt while skulking in ponds, swamps and lakes, waiting for prey that came to drink water. Given the size of this animal, it needed approximately 88 pounds of food daily to thrive. Although the Purussaurus had no predators, it lived in a fragile ecosystem. It was big and powerful, and this feature was also its biggest threat. This is the reason it became extinct a few million years later. The Megalodon, which went extinct millions of years ago, was the largest shark ever to prowl the oceans and one of the largest fish on record. The scientific name Otodus megalodon means giant tooth, and for good reason. Its massive teeth are almost 3 times larger than the teeth of a modern great white shark. Most of the fossils date back to the Middle Miocene epoch to the Pliocene epoch 15.9 million to 2.6 million years ago. All signs of the creature's existence ended 2.6 million years ago in the current fossil record. Going solely by the size of the teeth, some believe that the fish could grow up to 60 feet long, 80 meters according to the Natural History Museum in London, while others think that the size about 80 feet 25 meters long is more likely, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. Because no one has discovered any recent evidence of the monster, not even fossils that are any younger than 2.6 million years old, scientists agree that megalodon sharks are long gone. The megalodon was a top-of-the-food chain predator. It fed on other big marine mammals like whales and dolphins. These sharks also had a ferocious bite. While humans have been measured to have a bite force of around 1,370 newtons, researchers have estimated that the megalodon had a bite force between 108,000 to 180,000 newtons. Interestingly, to ensure survival, megalodon shark babies may have eaten their own siblings. As each embryo would grow to take up significant space, eating them gave the surviving shark more room to grow and reach a length of 6.6 feet 2 meters at birth. Cold weathers may have killed the megalodon shark around 3.6 million years ago. As Earth entered a period of global cooling and drying, megalodons went extinct according to the Natural History Museum. These sharks resided in tropical waters, but as sea temperatures dropped at the end of the Pliocene epoch and seas began to freeze, megalodon's habitat may have been greatly restricted. Livyatan Melvillei is an extinct species of prehistoric sperm whale that lived approximately 12 to 13 million years ago during the Miocene epoch. The only known specimen of Livyatan was reported from Peru, indicating that it inhabited the southeastern Pacific Ocean. Based on the size of the 3-meter, approximately 10 feet long skull, and on comparison with other sperm whales, Livyatan had a body length of 13 to 16 meters, 45 to 60 feet. Unlike the modern sperm whale, Livyatan possessed massive, deeply rooted upper teeth and a short, wide snout. The modern sperm whale lacks upper teeth and has a very long, less robust snout. Similar to the modern sperm whale, Livyatan exhibited a concave surface on the top of the skull called supracranial basin, which presumably housed a large fluid-filled sac called the supramasseter organ. The teeth of Livyatan are large, 14 inches long, 4 to 5 inches in width, have sharp tips and bear deep gouges from wearing against other teeth. The skull of Livyatan has a large depression on the top of the skull, the supracranial basin, which in modern sperm whales houses the spermaceti organ, and the melon, 2 soft tissue organs which function in echolocation. This suggests that Livyatan could echolocate in a manner similar to modern sperm and pygmy sperm whales. The modern sperm whale feeds on large squid using oral suction, and its teeth are not used for chewing prey. The robust snout and massive lower and upper teeth of Livyatan are evidence that its prey were larger and tougher than squid. The mouth of Livyatan is approximately 6 feet long and 4 feet wide, 3 times the size of the mouth of the killer whale, and large enough to fit an adult human. Due to its substantial size, Livyatan likely had few natural predators and may have even hunted other ocean predators. Nevertheless, since it inhabited the same waters as the Megalodon shark, it's conceivable that there were epic battles between them. One major contributing factor to Livyatan dying out was the water cooling during the early Pliocene epoch, which began around 5.3 million years ago. Another factor that played into their extinction was the increase in killer whale populations. Livyatan did not suddenly become prey. However, the competition for food became too much for this sea monster, and it could not keep up with the changing times.